Bennett reporting live from the White House, my executive suite in the upper room. I'll be standing in as president as the Senate and the Congress and 45 take their 2-week vacation without putting in their PTO requests. I guess they had a long, hard day yesterday and now they need to go vacation and take some time off while we're in the midst of a pandemic where 300,000 Americans are dying. And then they wait last minute to sign this pandemic relief bill, and now the states need instructions on how to regulate it, and now you on a 2-week hiatus because you a little shooken up. Well, guess what, America? That's how it feels to be a black person in America every single freaking day. Every single day. That's what it feels like to be black in America. It's always someone coming for you. Always someone taking your shit. It's always someone looking to put your name in some stuff that ain't even supposed to be in. It's always an attack. And these law enforcement agencies use unnecessary force and nothing is being done about it. We've been marching 10 years. And then 1 year that we get beyond pissed off and fed up where we want to burn the shit down, then all of a sudden we thugs and we animals. That's why I got my do-rag on right now, because I'm thugging it out how they was thugging it out yesterday at the White House, at the nation's capital. The most secure place in our country. And they busted the windows out. Busted the door down. Freaking was posing with statues. Freaking hanging Confederate flags. Confederate flags was hanging from monuments. Like, they defaced federal property. And only 52 arrests, and that was like a whole 1,000,000-man march out there, bro. Come on now. Come on. Y'all the federal government? And y'all helping them down the steps and they just busted down your door and your windows? They got y'all scared at y'all own crib? And y'all the feds? We ain't gonna let Trump and his boys steal the show and take away from Atlanta what history that has been made yesterday on January 6, 2021. The first black senator in Georgia history. History. The same Georgia that Martin Luther King marched for, the pastor of that very church is now the Senate, the 11th black senator in U.S. history. Congratulations, Raphael Warnock. Congratulations, John Ossoff, the youngest freaking senator in the history of the United States of America. Hallelujah, to God be the glory, for he said the last shall be first and the first shall be last. And y'all living proof of that. Y'all put that hard work in. Y'all have people knocking on my door. You have my mailbox full. I had postcards. I had flyers. I had handwritten letters. I had everything I needed. Shout out to Stacey Abrams putting in that groundwork, making sure that we get a fair election and voter suppression is lowered because there was some high suppression. Yes, Georgia still got these Jim Crow laws still on the books, so we're going to need Warnock and Ossoff to tackle those on the local level because we shouldn't be going to jail just because we don't have our ID on us. Like, this is why the jails are overcrowded as it is. Just because you forget your ID at the crib, that don't mean that's a free pass to jail. Like, let's stop that. Let's stop overcrowding these jails and put the real criminals and thugs in there instead of innocent people who can't afford to survive. And it's all a money game with them. It's not about right and wrong. It's about who got the money. And it shouldn't be like that. For the Bible says in Matthew 6:24, for you cannot love God and money. You can't have two masters. Either you're going to love one and not the other, or you're going to love one too much. And God is a jealous God. So you got to make that decision. I think that's why God sent the coronavirus here, so we could see that. You can't serve God and money. You can't put money before people. That's just insane. You could put a dollar amount on somebody's life. Like, it's ridiculous. And that's a sad country. That's a sad country, especially when we print our own money and we have ways where we could erase our own debt, but we choose not to because we want to keep all the money up top to our people so we could be on the Forbes list, millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires. And then when it comes to the American working people that's keeping this country afloat, you want to pay them pennies on the dollar, couple hundred, can't even throw 1,000 because y'all too cheap with it. But y'all million, billion, and trillionaires off the back of our hard work, and that's some messed up stuff. And that's why Corona is here. And we got to fix that problem expeditiously. We need to be praying, because at this point, only God can help us. Only God can help us get through this. It's been test after test after test after test. I don't know how many times they're going to slap us in the face with this law of theirs and their judicial system before we stand up and do something. Calling for a boycott. I say about 30 days, if we just stop spending unnecessary money, if we just buy food, gas, and water, things to survive, and not go on these trips and buying all these extravagant gifts and cars and watches. If we could just stick to the necessities for 30 days, I swear this country will change like it'll change like you never seen it change before. Because at this point, America needs people now more than ever. We're essential. All of a sudden, we're essential. Coronavirus hits, all of a sudden everyone's essential. Before, you didn't want to pay the man that was at the food store or at the gas station working these jobs that's keeping the country going. We were essential before you put the essential on us. We've been essential. Y'all need to pay people like they're essential. Everyone is essential. Let's know someone's better than somebody. We all people. We all got bills. We all got to survive. We're all people. That's how it is at the end of the day. It shouldn't be all this classism and how much you make per year. Like, we're all people. We all need help, and we all need to pitch in and do our jobs and sharpen up. ATL Georgia, shout out to Reverend Warnock again. Shout out to John Ossoff, Stacey Abrams, job well done. Change is coming, and that's what this is all about. They're trying to shake up trying to put fear in America because they don't want to see the change. But we've been fighting for 100 years for this damn change, and they keep playing. We're going to knock these motherfuckers out the box, B. We're going to knock them out the fucking box. They keep playing with us. We sick of this shit, man. They've been whipping our ancestors' ass. They're taking away our families, putting our black men in jail for crimes half the time they didn't even commit, fraudulent charges just so they can make money and revenue off of people and get a conviction, because that's what it's all about. It's no longer about protecting and serving. It's a business. It's a business now. So they're operating under business tactics as far as budgets and schemes to get money. And you can see with the phone companies, the police, law enforcement agencies are in contract with the phone companies to charge you to call them. And they also got a special tax. Don't believe me? Check out your bill. You'll see it on there. We're paying for our own oppression at this point in America. So if we don't put our foot down, no one will. No, FUBU, for us, by us. We all we got. So we need to stick together, unite, strategize, organize, and help each other. It's us. Unfortunately, it's us versus them. It shouldn't be like that, but they're showing us that it's exactly like that. And the black man will never be equal in America. And it's a goddamn shame because we bring so much to America. And America wouldn't be shit without us. But to God be the glory, because he wrote the story. God talked about this in the Bible. All this is preordained. He said, your lot in life is to enjoy your work, because that's all you have on this earth is the work that you do. Nothing else matters here. This is pretty much a test. This life is just a test to see your character and what you're going to do, and to see how you're going to do in the next life. So this is one big ass test, and a lot of y'all ain't passing the test, and hell's going to be packed, because you are going to stand accountable one day for your actions. And I just can't believe at the nation's capital, you could vandalize right on the wall. He was in there with his feet up, kicked up with his feet up, bro. Ain't one cop go in there and make no conviction. No one. That's breaking and entering, theft by possession. That's criminal trespassing, destruction of federal property. All these charges. If that was a black man, he would have got all of that. You would have caught all them charges. Probably would have tried to expedite you out the country. Like, it's terrible. So America, minorities, black America, we must stand for something, or we're going to keep falling for the okie doke. Stop valuing money and start valuing people and each other. That's Matthew 6:24. We need to stay prayed up, because Jesus the only one that can help us at this point. Because they tripping. They tripping out here. They tripping hard body. Hard body, B. Hard body. Let me see what I wrote, because that was just off the rip. They got me so damn hot. I ain't been to sleep. I'm so hot. My shit boiling. My blood pressure. Bloop, 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 bloop. It's crazy. Only 52 arrests made. But when they was at the Attorney General Daniel J. needs to be fired Cameron's house this summer over Breonna Taylor, and how they went up there and shot up her house over some frivolous claims, and no felons were charged and no convictions. And yet they did this to the national capital, and only 52 arrests, and half of those were only because they broke curfew, not because they broke and entered into the White House and destroyed federal property. And it's just baffling. It's just real baffling about how these law enforcement agencies could pick and choose when to be just and when to use aggressive and abusive force, when who to be aggressive to, and that's a violation of our constitutional rights. And this is self-evident that those rights don't apply to us. So we need to declare our freedom, because the way y'all governing is much like slavery. It's much like slavery. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's how I feel about it. The way they governing us is much like slavery. You got to pay for your freedom. They hit you with all type of charges knowing that you can't afford a lawyer. Then you get into court. The judge don't even listen to you. Those protesters that were in Kentucky protesting on behalf of Breonna Taylor received 2 felony charges and 1 misdemeanor for a peaceful protest for just sitting on the lawn. Just sitting on a lawn. Someone's lawn. Get you 2 felonies and 1 misdemeanor. It's all about who you are, and it's not about justice. It's about proving a point. Too much ego in the justice system. This country was built for the people, allegedly, but as we go on, time and time again, we see it's not. So what are we going to do about that? What are we going to do? God put us here on purpose, for a purpose. So we need to tap in with our prayers and see what God is calling you to do in this season, so you can rise up, so we can fulfill his will and get back his land, because they tripping. They tripping. They really tripping on the land, beefing about money, class, and power when people are dying. It's 300,000 Americans died. They gone. Because of this disease and our lack of 2.9 million people were staring death in the eyes while your ass was on the golf course swinging and missing like you been doing. Swinging and missing. Bringing division into this country, getting these people riled up, talking about we taking over the country. Like, what are you saying? We changing. You need to let that racism, the white man always got to be on top mentality. That was 400 years ago, man. Grow up. That's what it is. When y'all going to grow up and let that slavery and that white is better than black? We all people. God put us here on purpose for a purpose. And your purpose ain't to stand in the way of that. I'm sure. So you need to sit your little asses down and say a prayer, because you are going to reap what you sow. While y'all was out there with no mask on and we got that new strand. Yeah. Wouldn't it be convenient? Jesus. 52 arrests and 4 dead. There was no force used. There was no tear gas, no rubber bullets. There was no riot gear. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous and it's preposterous. And we tried the nonviolence MLK, and this is where it got us. So now it's time to get Malcolm X by any means necessary. Because this is ridiculous. And all of this because you guys lost an election. Black Lives Matters is about people losing their lives. People are dying. Blood is being shed in the street. That's why we going so hard. Y'all going hard over a loss of power. Because y'all ain't the majority no more. Y'all the minority. For God said the last shall be first and the first shall be last. If that day is here, then baby, ain't no avoiding God's plan. Believe that. Because y'all been tripping for 400 years. Now y'all take one L and y'all destroying your own country? Like, come on, B. 400 years worth of wins. 400. Y'all 401. And y'all can't even hold that one solid. Y'all can't even hold that L solid. That's because y'all weak. Y'all minds is weak. Y'all weak in the head. And the president talk about he love y'all and y'all special. Yeah. You're special ed. Real talk. Special ed. That's special education behavior right there. Climbing on walls. Stealing freaking federal property. And y'all just let them walk home. They made it home for dinner. Like, it's just blatant. It's blatant at this point. And the Constitution does not apply to minorities. So therefore, we need to either draft a new Constitution or we need to declare our freedom. Either way, something got to get done. I'm thankful that I'm African before I am American, because what I seen yesterday on January 6, 2021, man, that's in the history books. The little kids, 10 years old, they outside, they talking about what's going on the news at the Capitol. Because the president wants to have a tantrum because he lost an election because he's not qualified to be a president. That's why you lost. Middle of a pandemic and you out playing golf with Brett Favre and shit. Like, we paying you for your leisure, nigga. No, you need to get on this freaking legislation expeditiously. Your ass need to be fired for that stunt you pulled yesterday. Talking about you love them in their special. No, they're fucking terrorists, and you keep condoning it, and you're gonna have to stand up to God one day about this. And he's coming for you because I done put your name in the prayer. Oh yeah, we don't play that. Yesterday, January 6th, was a catastrophe, and all that did was show the enemy how to attack our country. That's all it showed. So it's like we writing a playbook for our enemies. I truly believe that God is empowering his people in this season. And I feel like there's a shift, a spiritual shift going on in the atmosphere. I've been praying for it. I've been longing for it. Because y'all been out of control in America for far too long. And there's no leaders and no one in the political system, justice system is stepping up and doing something about the problems, and now they're at an all-time high. And what you gonna do? What are you gonna do about the problem? Y'all thought the problem was black people. Now you see the problem in America isn't black people. But what are you, as a United States elected official under oath to protect and serve citizens and do what's right for citizens, are going to do about the lack of justice? The lack of justice and inequality in the judicial system and the Department of Corrections. What are we going to do about that problem? We've been marching for 8 years. So many black people died at the hands of police. And you guys, time and time again, keep listening to these police officers and taking their word for it, when they are in fact the problems. They're not protecting and serving. They're bringing violence into our communities. And they must be disciplined expeditiously, because the message that you're sending to the kids is that you can't trust them and we have to be scared of them. And just like you guys get scared and stand your ground, then those very laws need to apply to us. And if they don't, then we hold these truths to be self-evidence that the Constitution of the United States of America is a motherfucking lie. Yes, I said it. It's a motherfucking lie. And if that's the case, we just need to declare our freedom and head on out. Because we have to go where we're celebrated. And if we ain't celebrated here and appreciated, then we got to go. We're more than just target practice. You know? We got kids, we got family, we got to explain these actions of these people and how you guys are teaching us that we're this great country and the law is going to protect you and you have all these rights. And then when it's time to exercise those rights, you don't have those rights no more. So who's going to stand accountable? Who? And who's going to make them stand accountable? Leaders lead and bullshitters bullshit. And that's why all those flies are flying around the White House now. Because there's a lot of bullshit going on. And it needs to be corrected. And change is here for 2021. And that's why they're so mad. Because change is here. God saw what was happening. And the righteous will not be shaken. God rules everything. God is over money. God is over the government. God is over the world. God is over the sky. You can't mess with God. You can lie to these countries and the people all you want. But when it comes to God, nah. God calling the shots. And I know that to be fact. So you may think you the man on earth, but there's going to come a judgment day and you're going to stand accountable. Trust and believe